Finados, meaning decease, or more affectionately, soul who has passed. Finados is a tradition and celebration that links together Latin America, Spanish culture, and indigenous peoples. You may be familiar with Dia De Los Muertos, yet in places like Brazil and the Caribbean country of Belize, the people remember this cultural practice as Finados. To uphold indigenous roots in a world so far removed and influenced by colonization still remains to be quite a sticky balance, especially when it comes to matters of the dead. In this video, we will follow the living of a Mestizo community in Western Belize as they honor the souls of the dead in a world dying to remember tradition. Beginning November 1st and 2nd and lasting 9 days, Finados starts with the creating of the Familia Ofrenda, an altar whose layers connect to ancient Maya cosmology. After reciting prayers and preparing all the meals required, the day is ended in celebration at the cemetery, ablaze with candles, the colors of flowers dancing in the night. This stone garden, often connected to sorrow, has no choice but to come to life.
Well, Finados for us, it's an indigenous tradition that we have upkeep. We are descendants of the Yucatec Mayas who migrated to Petén, Guatemala, and this is where the fusion of the Yucatecs and the Itza Chan Mayas come in and play the synergy, because as a new fusion of people here in Western Belize, we believe that Finados celebrates death, but we also have this Catholic faith and tradition that, both have merged, and the synergy of tradition and beliefs coming together. So for Finados, we believe that our loved ones, the ones who have departed, come to enjoy the delicacies that they enjoyed when they were in the earthly state in their lives. So Finados for us is a celebration of the death, and we do it through culinary dishes. We display their favorite food. We also have some traditional treats for that season, which is ishpasha, which is made of seasonal corn, of the purple corn, and this is like a food for the soul. So traditionally here we would have ishpasha, and then we also have bollos de espelon, where we would get our fattened rooster that we have been growing throughout the year, and we use that local chicken to put in our bollos. Tradition here in Benque, we usually consume bollos, but for this season we use it from the fattened rooster, el gallo capon, and we also add ishpelon, which is a seasonal beans for the season. So we lay out an altar. We put in their picture to remember them. We lay candles, because this lights their pathway from their on their way to their families. We lay a glass of water to quench their thirst. We also believe that candles light their way coming back. It's also part of the Mayan beliefs that the elements of light, fire, and water are very symbolic to this tradition. But as we share and how we've been understanding culture, is that these are elements that are very much necessary and essential to carry on our altar. So in essence, Finados brings families together, because it's a very tedious process of getting all these elements together. But this is when the mother gets the families to come and assist. And we look forward to come and feast on what we have after the altar has been placed. There is much tradition and superstition when it comes to Finados, because we have so much belief that if we do not celebrate Finados at home, we will get some type of experience, of supernatural experience if we do not do it. So for us, it's a belief that, we have to do it. We need to keep a connection with our loved ones who have passed away. And this is important because, we believe that, blood never dies, and this is the continuation of it, that we wanted to be and identify us as much as possible, especially engaging our children and society in general. So Finados will never die because we also always want to be connected with our loved ones. I am Nayeli Yakabo. I am the coordinator of the Benga House of Culture. I work with the National Institute of Culture and History through the Museum of Belize and Houses of Culture.
Are you finding it hard to keep the traditions like this alive?
Well, I think it's quite challenging because personally I'm a working mother, and it's challenging to upkeep, the hours of placing it, the process of it. I think there is somehow a decline, but then there is time for us to be able to place it. Like when I work, I place it at 6 in the evening rather than the midday, because we start as early as 5 to set up your altar. That's breakfast, and then we set up in the evening, and then at night at 6 p.m. Because after 6 we're going to be visiting the burial grounds and setting flowers and candles and fresh flowers. So it has its unique style, and we have to carry on. But yes, there is a decline because mothers are working now. So we find it that the elders are much carrying on this tradition. But we do have, if we have lost a loved one who's very close to us, we need to find time to do something like this. We also have the 9 days after. If you're unable to do it on a day like today, we can do it 9 days after, because we believe that the souls are coming over for this season. So this is just a snippet of what we have, but most families do have a little altar at home, even if it's not that elaborated, but you will still place candles, sweets, treats, boils, and pashas. So it's very common in, I believe that in families, one at home would do it. So it's not every family, but per family, someone will do it.
Okay, as long as someone remembers. Yes.
En nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Amén. Ven Espíritu Santo, llena los corazones de tus fieles y enciende en ellos el fuego de tu amor. Envía, Señor, tu Espíritu y todo será creado y renovarás la faz de la tierra. Señor mío Jesucristo, Dios y mi verdadero, Creador y Redentor mío, por ser vos quien sois y porque os amo sobre todas las cosas. Me pesa de todo corazón de haberos ofendido. Propongo firmemente nunca más pecar, apartarme de las ocasiones de ofenderos, confesarme y cumplir la penitencia que me fuera impuesta. Ofrezco, Señor, mi vida, obras y trabajos en satisfacción de todos mis pecados. Y así como os lo suplico, así confío en vuestra bondad y misericordia infinita, que me los perdonaréis por los merecimientos de vuestra preciosísima sangre. Vida, pasión y muerte me daréis la gracia para enmendarme y perseverar en vuestro santo servicio, hasta el fin de mi vida. Amén. Creo en Dios, Padre Todopoderoso, Creador del cielo y de la tierra. Creo en Jesucristo, su único Hijo, nuestro Señor, que fue concebido por obra y gracia del Espíritu Santo. Nació de Santa María Virgen, padeció bajo el poder de Poncio Pilato, fue crucificado, muerto y sepultado, descendió a los infiernos, al tercer día resucitó de entre los muertos, subió al cielo y está sentado a la derecha de Dios Padre Todopoderoso. Desde allá de venir a juzgar a los vivos y a los muertos. Creo en el Espíritu Santo, la Santa Madre Iglesia Católica, la comunión de los santos, el perdón de los pecados, la resurrección de la carne y la vida perdurable. Amén. Ofrecimiento. Oh María, Madre dignísima de Jesús, belleza inmarcesible azucena de fragancias eternas, recreo delicioso de la ciudad de Dios, donde vivirán para siempre absortos sus nobles ciudadanos y angélicas inteligencias. Tú eres, Señor, el relicario precioso y la más encendida caridad.
Do you find, like, with the combining of the Catholicism and the indigenous beliefs, has it ever been hard to, like, keep the two, like, integrated together?
I believe that it is challenging, because this is where faith over tradition. I am Catholic rooted, but Catholicism will not take my roots. I have a certain belief, but they take it like invocation, of spirits, but this is how I was growing up, and I don't want my loved one to come and not get the loving that we showcase through this experience. So it is very challenging, and how are you going to do it and carry on? But this is something that has been instilled in us, and we need to keep it. So how we keep the Christianism in there is that we will lay prayers whenever we set up the food. We do have a novena de los difuntos, which is prayers, a lengthy prayer for their souls, pray for their souls, because we believe that if they're in purgatory, they will reach heaven through prayers. So this is when the syncretism of both tradition and culture have come and be showcased through prayers. How we honor our ancestors all year long is through advices. I guess that is the task that we the livings have to do with the generations that are upcoming. Especially through recipes, advices, superstition. Because when my mom grew me up, she was like, "Oh, my mother used to do this," and then my mother has kept this, so I would pass this on and channel it to my kids. Also, I think that this is one way, even recipes, culinary secrets at home, so we do remember our loved ones like that. And occasionally we are a culture that whenever we have certain dreams, and I guess this is also where the Catholicism comes in. If we dream our loved one, we would run to the church and pay a special mass, because we believe that the soul is in need of prayer and mass. So we will even light a candle. So whenever we get to dream our loved one, we know it's a message from them. And this happens all year around, that we do and pay for their masses. We also keep in touch through like celebrating our birthday. Their birthdays, we would pay a mass to honor their birthdays. Well, this year we have added the homage of the Finados tapestries for Dr. Civil and Kenneth, but we also want to showcase art, because we don't want to lose our identity through Halloween. Yes, Halloween is fun. Halloween is a commercial culture that is now here in many parts of the world, but we don't want to lose identity because of Halloween. And we always want to showcase what is culture, what are we as people, and we never want to lose that, because once we lose identity, we're going to lose ourselves. So we're not saying you have to do your altar. We want to say be knowledgeable of what we do, so that you could always have your heritage with you present. So we have added the Finados tapestries, which is colorful, which should also mock death, and it's an artistic collaboration that has been carried on by artist visitors. So we invite you to live the momentum of Finados in Dente, and for the many more years to come, we hope that this can also become a festival where we have other activities. Because of the pandemic, we're very limited to what we can do, and we thank the authorities for allowing us this avenue for expression. So thank you so much for documenting and sharing.
And so we say, gracias Dios por los vivos y los muertos, para orar y para actuar. What I know for sure is that in order to know where we are going, it's important that we remember where we come from, who we come from, what we come from, and that we have the courage to carry it on.